my room behind me where I keep all my tech stuff I'm not using. Still haven't found my OG Razor, but I must say those 480p. Let me pull this out. Those 480p photos are not aging well.
All right, guys, we are live. It is the SMT Podcast. I'm your host, the SMT, Sneed Mobile Tech. And I'm here with Pete, the Bearded Dragon. Wait,
Question mark?
we got to say it right. The Bearded Dragon?
Yep.
What's up, Raph? Good to have you on. He'll be moderating tonight, as I'm sure Pete will pop in there and smack some people with a wrench or something.
If I have to.
Yeah, we don't like to do it, but, if you put a cat in the corner, it's going to scratch you.
Well, you have a 45% chance of it scratching you, but you have a 100% chance of having to clean up the mess it leaves.
What's going on, Cash Games? Good to have you on. Sebastian, Sebby's here. Hometown Custom PC is here. I got Pete here.
Stacy told me he encountered some Edge in Atlanta today, which was weird.
Edge?
Yeah.
Edge. What's up, Sean? How you doing, Sean? Good to have you on.
I haven't seen that for over a year, unless I was messing with my network settings.
It's like a blue moon, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Matt, Dub, Alan, Robert? Ooh, the original Razor. What's up, Jess? Good to have you on. Carlos, good to have you on, sir. I think Carlos also will be moderating tonight. All right, good. The video and audio set. Faye is here. Nephew, what's happening? All right, Pete. There's a lot of different ways we can probably start.
Skin this cat.
Right. I'm thinking, what's up, Slaw? What's up, Xena? Let's do... Actually, you know what? I'll let you, since you're technically a guest, even though, you pay rent.
No, I'm not a guest.
You basically pay rent on this podcast.
I pay rent for the podcast. I'm not a guest.
I was going to say you go ahead and open up with whatever topic you want. We could do the Razor phone. We could do Virgin Mobile. We could do Hulu. We could do just, cord cutting and streaming services.
Let's start with cord cutting and streaming services, and we can bundle Hulu in there like Comcast bundles TV into internet.
Okay. Pricing is up, Pete. Pricing is up. Everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Pricing is up at AT&T, of course.
That makes sense. It's AT&T.
Hulu's up twice in the same calendar year.
That also makes sense. If you read the comment I posted on the video, production costs go up and charges to providers go up.
I think a lot of people fail to realize to have programming, a company like Hulu or Netflix or anybody who's, I guess we'll call it syndication, right? They're basically reselling.
That is syndication.
Because they're basically just programming, right? They're taking shows that are previously recorded, they're made by another studio, and then they're saying, hey, if you would like to show our shows and our episodes, you have to pay us.
Yep.
And that drives up the cost on your bundle.
They do that with the networks as well, which is why on cable, Sneed chat. Which is why on cable you find a lot of these home shopping channels.
Yeah,
because the Shop NBC gets a cut of every purchase done on that, so they just include it just in case somebody will buy there. T-Vision actually doesn't have any of those channels.
Yeah, I'm looking at the situation like every streaming service chooses what they're going to offer, right? They kind of select what channels they're going to offer, and they try to distinguish themselves in that way. So Sling's got an orange package. They have a blue package. And you can kind of mix and match, and then you can add stuff and take away stuff. and like every little collection of channels is like $5 or $10. Before you know it, you're up. You're looking at cable pricing.
That's the idea, but that's because the providers cannot give you those channels for less than it costs to get those channels. They do not have a different way of monetizing their service other than charging the overheads plus the rebroadcaster fee.
So we've seen pricing go from about 40 a month to about 50 a month. Now we're seeing 60 and 70. It really just kind of depends
Yes.
on the provider. Kind of depends on the package, really.
Soon, if you're doing a streaming solution, you'd be looking at two cost differences for, say, Comcast or Spectrum and the streaming solution. What were they? The cost to rent the box doesn't have QVC where I am, but yeah, the cost to rent the box and the cost against your internet quota.
I was just reading a study that the average TV streamer, so somebody who is using some kind of a service, like a streaming service like Hulu or whatever, they're using on average 500 gigs per month. It's like 503 or 508. So most people are at either unlimited or the new thing by cable providers is a terabyte. It's like 1,024
That's
meg
not
per gig.
new. Comcast gave me that limitation in 2015.
Right. That was their answer. It seems like as soon as everybody started wanting to stream and get away from cable, they're like, well, fine, we're gonna hit you with a cap to offer you a monetary penalty for not having our TV services. Because Pete, what's the likelihood of somebody going over a terabyte without having a streaming service?
Very low if they're not BitTorrenting all the time.
Which would be like downloading dozens and dozens of movies.
Yeah, so another thing Comcast does is you can watch Amazon Video, Netflix, and I don't know, whatever else through their set-top box, and they'll count it against your internet quota.
So
that
all right.
Seems like a net neutrality conflict, and we're back at that again.
Because of the utility, is it a commodity? Is it yeah. Okay.
You're getting prioritized data.
Yeah, they don't. Do we really want to open the floodgates on fast lanes and slow lanes?
Well, slow lane and dead horse lane.
We've seen dead horse lane. We've seen DSL. We've seen that whole thing. What I'd also like to say, Pete, is just to give people an understanding of where I'm at with this. So I have Hulu Live. You have T-Vision, basically. You've got the Layer 3 TV service.
Yep. And if they did a full mobile out rollout, I'd tell you to cut your Hulu.
So here's what I've seen in the last year. I've had it for at least a year, maybe a little bit longer. It's been really good. I love the interface. I think the app itself is really good. It interacts well. The tabs, everything makes total sense. Nothing confusing or non-user friendly about it. It's intuitive enough. There's nothing crazy about it. It's a TV streaming service app, right?
Yeah.
You can record. We don't have issues with space on the recording.
Most of the recording is Symlinks after a day, by the way.
Right. And to be honest with you, Pete, my wife loves it. And everything that Yasmin wants or needs is on there.
Or Disney Plus.
Right. Now we got the Disney Plus. So now, like, even though it does come with Disney and Disney Kids, now you got Disney Plus, which kind of puts it all together, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, how committed am I to Hulu at this point? Now that I've seen them have to increase pricing 2 times in a row, like 2 times in the same calendar year, my incentive to stay is weaning. I'm just like,
Yeah, completely understandable.
right. So now I'm thinking, well, we have Netflix, we have Prime, we have, all these different things. We got Disney included in our Verizon now. I'm thinking about bundling it with ESPN Plus anyways, so I can get access to the fights, the UFC fights. There's so
Hey,
many.
if you want to watch it on what I sent you, you can do it.
Right. I mean, there's so many different ways to get connected. It's almost become a situation where the market is readjusting and recalibrating to the point where there are legitimately people talking about going back to cable.
Uh, that's basically what I ended up with. When I decided to get T-Vision, I'm like, there are so many channels on T-Vision, at a lower price than Comcast that I'm interested. They're not offered on YouTube or PlayStation View when I was looking, so I effectively went from one cable provider to another.
So Pete, if I'm paying it's like 45 a month right now. It used to be $39.99. Now it's gonna be, so it went up $5. Now it's going up 10.
Ugh.
And so like the rate at which it's increasing it's a higher magnitude, a higher rate increase. It's also the second increase in a calendar year. YouTube TV hasn't increased. I'm thinking about going that way because I can save $5 a month. So it's going to be $49.99 and I get unlimited recording as opposed to the whatever, however many hours I get. But
Yep.
it has the same channels. So to me, it's just I'll save $5 by going to YouTube TV. I have the Chromecast in the basement. I've got, the TV here by the studio. I've got the TV upstairs. Like the YouTube TV is going to be flawless. I have a Google phone, like everything. There's nothing wrong with Hulu. I'm not
No,
saying
there's
that
not.
but like no, it's just pricing at this point because it's the same set of it's the same channels. It's the same features except now I'll be getting unlimited recording and saving $5 a month.
Yep.
And of course, we can keep the $5.99 free or the $5.99 on demand Hulu. Like it doesn't matter to me. What's up, TK? Good to have you on, man.
Hey, I pay $14 for the commercial free Hulu just because um I watch so much Hulu the commercials get obnoxious. I've actually tried watching Futurama, which I doze off to. Commercials come on, they're like 3 times louder than Futurama. Ooh, wakes me right up.
Wait a minute, TK. You're not going to be on your podcast tonight, bro? Come on, man. What am I going to? You know that I watch your podcast every Sunday night, man. That shit is like church, bro. Come on, man.
Man, language.
If you'd like to host the podcast this evening, the channel is yours. Oh, snap. I'm about to have TK's channel, bro.
Can we do a simulcast?
I don't know how to do it, man, but that would be kind of cool, Pete.
Be like, hi, we're now on TK's channel. We're not reading the chat. Enjoy.
That would be kind of cool, man. I don't know. But do you ever really want to simulcast more than 2, though?
I don't know.
The wifey is important, TK. You are the big homie. You know better.
TK's from the Boston area, yeah?
I think originally he is. What's up, Eric?
Make people feel comfortable and that I can talk like a Southie.
Carlos says, Pete, have you tried YouTube TV?
No.
See, I have, and it's pretty good. And it's seamless. It's feature rich,
They keep pushing it. I'm like,
Pete, the problem is you already have all this other stuff.
yeah, I have all this other stuff, and there's content that I cannot receive without the T-Vision. Unless YouTube TV updated their channel listing without me noticing. Let me see. Channels on YouTube TV.
So we got 72 in the live. I want to thank you guys for being here this evening. If you could, on your way in, please do say hello to the SMT and Pete, and also like this video as you guys are coming in. I do want to do some shout outs. It's been a while since I've done these, particularly in this fashion, but I want to shout out one of the best communities that you'll ever find on the Patreon. It's the SMT Patrons. So big shout out to Breon, Carlos, Cesar, Ciova, Dan Malone, Dave B, Dominick, George, High Tech Markey, Jamaal, John, Jonathan, Joeseph, Justin. Welcome back, Justin, by the way. Good to have you, man. Ken, Madbirds, Mark Garcia, Martin, Matt Dubb, Michael, MT Houston, Texas, Murad, Pete in the house, Ronald, and Therala. Thank you guys for supporting the SMT on Patreon. And if you guys want to be a part of that community, get access to exclusive videos and get early release to the videos here on YouTube, there is a link in the description box for that. You guys can check that out. And also a big shout out to the Discord server. Great community there. I was messing with everybody in the Discord server last night, man. I came in guns a-blazing, and actually Maverick got mad at me. He said I was being erroneous in my accusations of Sprint. I told him he was being chicanerous if I'm being erroneous. You want to use big words on the SMT? Come on now, man.
Yeah, this guy's a teacher.
If I'm erroneous, you're chicanerous.
And I'm typically loquacious.
Yo, Pete, should I really try to do 2 streams, man?
No. It's cold, you're tired.
Oh man. I really only planned on being here for an hour.
Yeah, like I'm only playing for an hour.
Like that ever happens.
Nope.
What's
never
up,
happens.
Lou? Good to have you on. Tack, what up? South Florida isn't how to what? Really?
YouTube TV doesn't have BBC America?
What's up, Delbert? Mark, what's happening, man?
Oh.
Ninos. Max. Sebi. Daniel. From the KC.
I might have to look into YouTube TV, let me tell you.
It's nice, Pete. Like if somebody was looking for a good, reliable streaming service with an app interface that's easy to use and it's not expensive and it's got a nice diversity of channels, it's a really good option. Like it does all the locals and it gets you pretty much everything that you would need. It's got cartoons for kids. It's got documentaries. It's got live sports. It has entertainment stuff. It's got movies. I mean, it has everything. Like, unless you are a channel snob, you know, like Pete, are you a channel snob?
Somewhat, but I might change to that if we don't get that cell phone app for the T-Vision. And hey, you'd have another reason to cancel your Hulu Live, because that Google that YouTube premium family share link would give you the YouTube TV.
I have no loyalty to Hulu, honestly. It's been fine, but I feel like streaming is not the type of place to have loyalty.
Nope.
So I have no problem leaving.
But as I said, you have I gave you a link to my YouTube premium family. Pete. So if I updated to that, you'd have it.
Pete.
What?
When you got me on that YouTube premium,
yeah,
bro, it changed my life, bro.
Oh yeah.
Bro, no commercials, no ads. It just keeps on playing screen off.
So my wife listens to relaxation music on YouTube while working. It helps her get productive. Got it for her. She's like, I don't have ads in my meditation music.
I think that's the way it's got to be, right?
Yeah, and it's,
you don't want the disruptions and stuff like that.
So I'm actually gonna double check after this podcast what channels TVision has versus YouTube TV. If I find YouTube TV has more channels, you're getting rid of your Hulu Sneed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's not going to take much for me to go somewhere else and
well,
use a different service. And
you'd already have YouTube TV.
right, if you were to go with that premium service.
Yep.
And to me, it's the same offering. It's just one-stop shop at this point, and you're saving money.
And every device I have has access to YouTube TV. I wouldn't even need more cable boxes.
Maverick, konnichiwa, bro. Konnichiwa. What's up, Ronald? Yeah, YouTube Premium is pretty awesome. Pete put me on, and man, he changed my life, man. That's a good upgrade. Yeah, we're live. We are live.
So,
do it like a radio
PlayStation
voice
View, I don't think that's available in my market anymore. I think it's going under.
Pete, it's over for PlayStation View.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't pick that.
Did you hear what happened last week?
What happened?
So I guess a few people were trying to sign up for it, and they told them no. They're like, yeah, I tried to sign on. I tried to, order your service online, and it wasn't working. So I wanted to call customer care. They're like, well, we're shutting it down, so we're not adding new customers. 1 week later, it's over.
Good thing I didn't buy into that boat.
Well, how long would you have been bought in for?
I don't know. I'd be like a Sprint customer.
Ow, that hurts. Somebody was asking a question earlier, Pete. I don't know if you want to address it. It's up to you. If not, I'll take it. I've been with Sprint for 8 years. I had a grandfather plan, paid $15 a month. Will that go away?
What did the
what does the plan include?
Give you?
Because it sounds to me like it's an old data plan that probably was like,
holy cow!
Right, like, because 8 years ago, you know what I mean?
Wait! Stop the freaking bus! Thanks, Carlos.
Carlos, thanks for the super chat, man.
YouTube appreciates you.
That's not a super chat. That's a super duper chat.
That's a hyper chat.
That's an Avengers Endgame Infinity War super chat. That's Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Carlos just snapped his fingers.
Yeah.
Man.
Hometown Custom PC says, what's going on with T-Mobile TV box for the Ohio area?
So here's the problem with these types of super chats, Pete. When I go upstairs, I have to go and get cash to put into Yasmin's piggy bank. I don't have it in my upstairs right now.
I have that much in my wallet at the moment. People like paying me in cash.
Wow. Carlos, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Looks like Carlos is doing well and he's feeling generous, and we appreciate that, Carlos. Thanks, bro. T-Mobile TV box for the Ohio area if you want to get their service. We're kind of
have to wait for the upgrade, the merger to go through for anything to go on with TVision, as I said.
We're kind of at the mercy of, the technology being able to be grand scale. I got a spam call. Nice. The biggest issue
was a spam call.
Yeah, it says suspected spam. The biggest problem with the whole merger situation with TVision is as long as it's getting delayed, as long as it's being prolonged, then all that stuff is kind of on the shelf in a way, because even like contractors that are supposed to be doing 5G infrastructure installs, they're on the shelf too.
Yep.
So there's stuff that's even more important than TVision right now that can't even get done. So let alone, we're talking TVision. It's not happening.
Not happening.
So
it needs to happen, but it's not happening.
So I think we'll close off the whole TV streaming and Hulu price increase now that we kind of wrapped it up. We kind of understand like the market has raised its pricing. I think Hulu needs to be profitable on some level, so they had to raise pricing. It's still not a bad offer. It's just less compelling, I think. And we're going to expect that the market continues to kind of level out. And eventually, I think we end up seeing cable's offerings and, streaming services being a little bit closer. So the gap, like TV streaming on this side, like a little bit cheaper, and then cable over on this side being more expensive. I see them kind of getting a little closer.
As I said, I think in the future the only difference will be the box fee and your data cap.
And boxes and stuff, like each box is $10.
$15.
If it's got DVR, it's 13 or 15. And if it's and if you're going with their equipment, they're going to sell to you at 10 to 15 for rental.
Yeah,
motor
that stuff adds up over time.
Of course, Pete. And installation fees are common, and waiting for somebody to show up is an issue.
I never wait for people to show up.
Well, Pete, we have to just include all possible scenarios. So there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of convenience in streaming. Now it just seems like the pricing isn't as compelling. Okay, next piece. The Razr phone.
That's a nice looking phone.
The Moto, made by Lenovo Razr.
Oh, does that mean it's part of the CCP?
Because it's Lenovo?
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do actually, Pete, is I'm gonna pull up the phone so people can see what it looks like. So I don't even know if we should technically call this like a traditional foldable, because it's not
a traditional foldable.
Okay.
Although I'm told I hear on YouTube people who actually tried the thing, it's really nice to close the thing to hang up on people.
The technology that they actually used for this foldable device is actually pretty cool. I'm gonna share the screen here, and let me do the Chrome tab. We're gonna do this so you guys can see it. Can you guys see that? Let me remove.
The upper left one looks like the best example.
Upper left. Okay, so here's what we're gonna look at here, and I'm gonna see if I can get a good image from the site it's on. Is it showing it? No. Okay.
Nope.
Well, no problem. All right. So the technology that they achieved here, I don't know if you guys can see
the hinge. Is that a physical home button?
Yeah, it's a fingerprint scanner.
Huh.
All right, so it's got a row of apps at the bottom. It's got your second row of apps. Like, it's going to come like a standard Moto. That's a fingerprint scanner. I think it's got some gestures. Karate chop flashlight. You can do the swivel wrist action for the front and rear camera. You know how you could switch it. It's got that like Moto suite of options. But this phone is pretty cool, man. So it's got a camera on the top of the on the other side. There's a small screen.
You can see that on the far right picture up there.
Right here. So it's got a camera. You could see the flash. You could see a speaker, like maybe a noise canceling speaker. It's got a small display, which it's limited functionality. You can't open up any app from there. It's like
that's a paperweight
messages,
display,
Spotify.
By the way.
I'm not sure. I think it's an LCD actually.
Either way, it's limited to 2 colors.
If you guys can see the hinge in the center.
Oh wait, no, it's not limited to 2 colors. It has a camera preview, but on standby, it's limited to 2 colors.
If you could see the hinge in the middle, Pete. So apparently the plastic covering on the display can bend inward, and then this hinge kind of like tucks away so that it doesn't break and it doesn't form a crease. It's really cool. I think that technology is actually probably going to be what the market's going to use for foldables.
And it's a nice looking phone if you like the original Moto.
Which a lot of people did. I did.
I wouldn't recommend buying it for anything but nostalgia, though. That has a generation prior to the 855 in there. And
well, let's talk the specs, Pete. It's a Qualcomm Snapdragon.
Yep.
It's not a entry level processor, but it's a 710, which means it's a premium mid range processor.
Yep.
It's the type of processor that's one step above the Google Pixel 3a.
Yep.
So a little bit more powerful, but not really that. They say it's the equivalent of like the Snapdragon 820 or 835. I hear 835. The
They might
camera
be pushing it.
the camera technology is meh.
1080p, one camera.
I don't know. They're saying like the video on it's really average, and they say the stills are decent. So they didn't put much emphasis on the camera. They also put in a 2560 milliamp hour battery, so it may or may not make it through a day. I don't know if it's 4 or 6 gigs of RAM. I hear it's 4.
I heard it's 4.
$1,500 from Verizon as a VZW exclusive. Oh God.
So you can only get it if you're on Verizon. Sneed, will you be buying one for $1,500?
Hell no. Should I sing it so it sounds better?
Nope.
No. Not happening, bruh. I love the concept. I love the innovation. I think it's amazing.
In the developer options, there's the classic Razr interface option.
It's so cool, Pete. Like, I remember this phone, and I like the concept of this phone. But for $1,500, I mean, they can.
And what it gives
that,
you,
bro. It's not even a flagship. It's not even a premium phone.
And it costs more than a 5G phone.
It's got standard charging. It's not fast charging. It's not 5G, so it's not future proof. It's not waterproof at all. I think it's got a nano coating, so it's splash resistance. So like you could get out of the car with it, over your ear, and like if it was drizzling, you'd be okay.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. I don't think there's a headphone jack. Like there's so much left to be desired on that phone. I don't even think it has a SIM card tray, Pete. I think it's eSIM only.
It's eSIM only.
There's just a lot to really stay away
from. The Verizon original one was CDMA only that didn't take a SIM card. So,
Pete, I want to do a shout out for Dan. He's the newest member of the Patreon. Thank you for joining the community, Dan. Good to have you on.
So you got the Peter tier Patreon?
Oh, snap. Jamie's in the house. What's up, bro? Hey, you like that whooping that the Browns put on the Steelers this week? Yeah, buddy. Like, literally, they had to put a whooping on him, Pete. One of the Browns players ripped a helmet off of a Steelers player and slammed it on his head, bro. It's crazy.
There was an SNL joke about that.
Bro, it was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in an NFL football game. I've seen, like, all types of stuff. That was nuts. Absolutely bananas.
So, I'm looking at my office TV remote. This is going back to the streaming. Does it focus? Does it focus? Well, it says PlayStation View on the this button. So I'm gonna have to get some whiteout since that's defunct.
Who'd the Cowboys beat today, Michael? The Lions without their starting quarterback? I don't know. Not impressive, man. Half our.
I know I know the Broncos lost today, according to Google.
They were up like 24-7. They found a way to lose.
Yeah, I looked at it. I'm like, what?
Ricky,
I don't
so
even follow the sport.
Here's the worst part about it, Pete. So let's say that somebody buys the Razr and they want to sell it secondhand, and they get it unlocked right after the 60-day SIM thing, whatever it is.
Yep.
Ricky's basically saying they're still not going to have all the LTE bands to run on all the other networks. So
it's locked.
I bet you it doesn't have band 14. Well, no, you can get it unlocked, but it's still only going to connect to like 2, 4.
Not account locked.
Right.
But it's locked to the carrier. It's like you're buying a Sprint phone prior to 2016.
See, so like this phone's probably not going to have band 14. It's probably so like AT&T is out of the question.
No 71.
No 71 on T-Mobile, probably. Maybe. I doubt it. Why would they put it on there if
they're
if
not
it
going
was
to do
designed?
71? So you're paying $1,500 for a GIMP antenna.
Moto Razr LTE bands. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I
I don't
like
know.
Justin Miller saying that the new Razr is DOA.
Pete, it has really. It has no joke. 2, 4, 5, 7, 13, 38, 40, and 66.
Hey.
That is a Verizon exclusive, y'all.
Yep.
I can't recommend this phone at $1,500. I can't recommend this phone for anyone who is not on Verizon.
$400. I can recommend it for $400.
Because what's going to end up happening is if you're not on Verizon, then this phone is only connecting to 2 and 4, which may or may well, it might get 66 too with your carrier. Not Sprint, obviously, but there's not a single band for Sprint. Pete.
I'd get some terrible service on T-Mobile, let me tell you.
Pete, there's not a single band for Sprint.
Nope.
2, 4, 5, 7, 13, 38, 40, 66. There's no 41, there's no 25, there's no 26.
I'd probably be able to make calls on that on T-Mobile.
They did give it CDMA BC0, BC1. I think that's for texting.
Yep.
But they also gave it GSM 850 and 1900.
What?
So that means that's because of those two bands. It's band 2 and 4.
Oh.
That's really it. So it can do 3G on 850 and 1900. Which why?
Let's do hard pass.
Yeah, that's really bad, bro. Dave, thanks for the super chat, bro.
So
I got to do that tonight, man. I'm gonna get unmasked on tonight.
So we've reviewed the phone. Only get it if you like nostalgia and have too much money.
If you're into $1,500 nostalgia, send it to me and I'll send you a picture of me from 3 years ago.
Send it to me. I won't use it. I'll send you a picture of me without a beard.
Pete, there was a point where you didn't have a beard?
Yeah, I had to get rid of some baggage. See,
Pete without a beard sounds blasphemous.
See, sometimes in your life things happen and you end up shaving your entire hair and having to move on.
I feel you, bro.
That's actually typically a Zen thing, I'm told.
Like a complete, what do we call that? Like a detox?
Yep, you gotta clear out the basement.
Gotcha.
So I get a picture of me like that. So if you send me a $1,500 phone, I'll send you that. That's nostalgia.
All right, Pete. How about this one? Virgin Mobile.
Huh. Where are they selling it now?
Nowhere.
Not even online?
Online only.
You know, I have a Virgin Mobile reseller at a booth store near me. Are they going away?
Well, so here's the thing about Virgin. Virgin, man, I watched Tito's video. Big shout out to Aloha Android, Tito over there. He did a good video today. He was talking about Virgin Mobile as a disruptor. When Virgin was purchased by Nextel. Wait. No, by Sprint.
Yep.
They were supposed to be this like sister prepaid brand. I don't know how you would qualify it, but
Sister prepaid.
They were supposed to be a brand that was supposed to appeal to like younger generations, people that wanted their billing a little bit different. There was some kind of deal where if you bought an iPhone from them at full price, you got service for $1 a month. It was like 300 calls, 300 texts, and 300 megabits of data in a month. And they gave you that service for $1. It was really unique and different. Not to call it gimmicky, but they were different. And
different is gimmick by a different name.
But Pete, it was kind of cool that somebody was doing something different than the rest of the market.
Hey,
so,
that's some low priced content right there.
I thought it was incredible that Marcelo used to speak of Virgin Mobile as this disruptive brand. When did Marcelo ever disrupt anything other than a lunch buffet? You know, like I look at Marcelo like he accomplished nothing in his time as CEO of Sprint. Sprint was in the hole before he got there. It got worse with him there. None of his initiatives, none of his executive decisions did anything for the company to advance it, recover, reduce debt. I mean, nothing. He didn't do anything at all. And for him to come out and talk about how Virgin was going to be this disruptive brand and then completely neglect it. And if he really believed in Virgin, he wouldn't be letting it go in the merger. You know what I'm saying? Like it clearly makes zero sense. What these people are saying and what they really mean are not the same.
Not always.
And there are a lot of people, Pete, that use Virgin service that are limited income, that are they're on a budget.
Yep.
And it's those, and people say, well, oh, you know, they could just use Lifeline program. And some people are not below poverty. Some people just have a fixed income, and they need a market. They need a competitive marketplace for pricing for them.
Definitely. It stinks that the Lifeline program has such a threshold, but if you're living at the point where you're paycheck to paycheck and you can't, an unexpected expense will set you back 6 months, or if you don't change the situation the rest of your life, yeah, there needs to be avenues for them, and hopefully the $15 service new T-Mobile is promising will encourage more companies to offer something in that price range.
The one thing to kind of backtrack about Virgin, you can no longer go to a Virgin Mobile store if you are going to purchase products through Virgin or the service itself. It all has to be online. So something tells me they're operating out of the same facilities as pre-existing Sprint service. So they're going to consolidate locations. They're not going to operate independently anymore because, like I said, you have to trim the fat. You can't pay extra people when you don't have the business. So customer care is going to drop 100%. The planning, like plans and pricing, I mean, I don't even think they give it attention. I haven't seen or heard an ad for Virgin Mobile in years.
I generally don't watch commercials, so
but
unless
Pete,
they
I see ads all the time for T-Mobile. I see ads all the time for AT&T and Verizon and even Sprint.
Yeah, I randomly see those too.
Especially like before I got the YouTube Premium. I saw all the ads, but like it's a situation where anybody who wanted anything to do with Virgin is now probably thinking, what are my other options? I want similarly priced service for these types of accommodations. What are my choices? And there's not much out there, really. The only thing I could say is possibly go with Project Fi because you're on a pay per gig type of data usage. So I don't know. I want to see people with more options, regardless of the segment, regardless of the budget. So we'll see what happens there. And in terms of low-income customers, I think this kind of spins off nicely. All of this talk about Boost Mobile and Dish, and Boost Mobile potentially, and we'll just say Charlie Ergen, right? He's the president and CEO and whatever. He's the only person that matters at Dish when it comes to decision making. He owns a ton of stocks. He bought back tons because he knows that the company is going to be worth something eventually.
Makes sense.
He wants to shed. Apparently, this is what Peter Adderton on Twitter and his interviews with Bloomberg. They're talking about shedding 2.5 million customers out of the 8.5 million they have in the merger. So that brings it down to 6. And the reason he wants to get rid of those 2.5, as accused by Peter, is it's because they can't make money off of them. Like they can make some money, it's just not profitable. So Pete, have you ever heard of the term ARPU?
Maybe.
Okay, so it stands for average revenue per user. So it's
Ah,
essentially a measure of profitability on a per customer basis, right?
so basically they want to do what AT&T gets away with.
There we go. Okay, so AT&T only cares about ARPU. They literally just spent the last 2 years, if not 2.5, 3 years, purging all those TV customers. They're like, hey, you want to stay on? We have to raise pricing. If you don't like the new pricing, you got to go. And we'd love to keep you, but at our price, not at your old grandfather DirecTV price, you know? So
Wait, what's with the grandfather DirecTV price? I thought they got rid of those before they sold DirecTV.
no, they held on to some of that pricing early on, back in 15 and 16. And then in 17, they raised pricing. In 18, they raised pricing. And in 19, they raised pricing twice.
Huh.
Anyways, so here's how Dish is going to do it with Boost, apparently. They are going to throttle those 2.5 million customers so badly that the customer will be fed up and want to leave. So essentially, they're going to give them 1 megabit per second for video. They're going to throttle them full time, probably. And people are going to basically say, man, this is so unbearable. It's so unenjoyable.
See you on Highway 61.
I'm out. Yeah. And apparently, Charlie and company, Boost, Dish, they're cool with that. It looks like that's what they want to do. That's not competing. That's not serving the public. The merger is designed to benefit all. I strongly believe that if Peter Adderton has a case in this, he should be able to enter in on a bid for Dish, or on a bid for Boost. If he really thinks he can do that and he can serve it, and he'll agree to those concessions and those agreements, like the DOJ apparently won't even entertain a bidding war for Boost and prepaid Sprint.
Really?
Yeah. So like they were like, oh, it's going to Dish. And Pete, let's be honest, we know why it's Dish.
Yeah.
They've been hoarding that spectrum for years, and the FCC and the DOJ just want them to use it.
That is exactly it.
When you have a company that has as much, well, now they've got some extra low band. They've gotten that
They're
band
getting
20.
extra low band.
They're getting extra low band. They've got mid, and they've got a little bit of higher frequency waves. But like that stuff has been locked up and not being used. The FCC is probably like, man, we got to get that stuff out here.
Yep.
It's been hoarded for almost a decade.
Get that out of the basement.
So we kind of know why they want it to be Dish, but in reality, it doesn't matter. The FCC already told Dish, if you don't build out a 5G network or some semblance of a network, we're taking it from you. They're gonna auction it. But then Dish got involved. They're like, okay, let's work a deal. Let's get this thing going. And they want to build out their own 5G network. And Pete, there are regulations, there are concessions there. They've got to have a certain amount of coverage by 2021, 2022, 2023.
Yep.
They've got to meet like all these different checkpoints. So, they could do the same thing with whatever company wants to get in and bid against Dish, because Dish doesn't have the cash, which is weird. Why was the company least positioned for an acquisition able to acquire that much? Like they're acquiring, well, okay, so before it was about 10 million customers. Sprint's bleeding customers. So now it's like 8.5.
Hey, you're using the wrong word. They're
hemorrhaging?
Hemorrhaging customers. They're almost at what was that word? What's a technical word for bleeding to death? They're almost at exsanguinating customers.
Their prepaid churn rate is 4.97%. I've never seen anything like that in my life. What the heck, bro? There's not even when T-Mobile was at its highest churn, it was like 1.27.
Yeah, and back then, they had worse coverage than Sprint.
I don't understand how 4.97 is absurd. That's basically you opening the door and saying, everybody who's in here, get out.
Yep.
I mean, can you blame Peter Adderton for tweeting and saying and going on Bloomberg and saying they're not going to make it without this merger.
He also he went on Bloomberg News. I listened to him. He said they're a dead ship if they don't merge.
They're not profitable. They have too much debt, and there's no future.
To me, that sounds like bankruptcy.
And it's not ideal. The best scenario was Sprint should have been viable. The best scenario was to add a fifth carrier. The best case scenario was to have 6, 7, 8, 10.
Dude, I'd love 10 nationwide carriers.
That would be crazy.
You call up customer service. You say, I don't like your service. I need you to port my number to Fire Mobile. And they go, how about we cut your bill $50 for 3 months? And you go, okay, I'll stay. I'm not going to Fire Mobile.
I don't know, man. So we've watched Virgin dissipate. We've watched low-income customers potentially being purged off of the Boost network. We saw all this happening this week. Hulu price increases, streaming prices increasing. A lot of bad this week, Pete.
Are we going to see Cricket hemorrhage customers?
Cricket's actually doing really good.
I know.
Pete, let me give you a little preview. So I just got myself access to the AT&T network. I haven't had it in years.
You have service there, I noticed on the Discord.
It's really fast. It's really, really fast. Like, everywhere I'm going is 100 megs and better. I hate AT&T, but they've got network magic going on. Apparently, everything that they've been talking about for the last year and a half, since they got that first responders network contract, Band 14, apparently it's all real, man. I thought it was all just made up. Like, yeah, our network's the best, you know. Like, it's.
Question: How many megahertz of that 14 band do they have?
10.
Doesn't sound right.
10 or 15.
LT band 14.
Oh, you mean nationwide?
Yeah.
They're probably got 20, right?
I'm looking it up.
In like a given market, they would be deploying about 20 of it.
So yeah, they have a full 20 megahertz nationwide. No, they have a full 40.
Oh,
the band.
So they're doing at least 20. Well, actually, they probably haven't rolled it all out yet. So I'm seeing 10.
Yeah, they have 10 at the moment for up and down. They're gonna have 20 for up and down.
Yeah, it's really fast, P, and it's aggregating with
everything.
It's with 2. I've seen it with 12. I'm gonna just do a speed test
and this is the millimeter, no, not millimeter, low band frequency too.
I think it's 700, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe Ricky Florida Keys knows. He knows it pretty well. I'm in my basement. I'm getting 70 megabits per second. The ping is like 23. The upload's around 15. It's been really good, Pete.
If you got a band 71 tower 5G ready in T-Mobile, go with the deploy. You could probably get roughly that too.
I don't plan on keeping this AT&T long term. I just wanted to try it because I haven't had it in a while, and everybody's talking all this great stuff.
So AT&T is still 3G in my area.
Oh,
yeah.
Pete, you live in a rough geographical region.
Oh yeah, you got Verizon, or you're praying for the merger.
And Verizon's probably running what, 700 megahertz type spectrum over there.
Never looked into it.
It's probably a bunch of band 2.
There is a bunch of band 2, yes.
And it gets you covered at least. See, you never really realize it till like you live in a place like where Pete is. Like everybody wants this blazing fast LTE. But in places where there's not a lot of people, you don't need the capacity so much. Like you're getting by with 5-10 megabits per second because like hardly anybody's on the towers.
Granted,
So like
downtown Longmont, I get 110.
oh wow. So Carlos is saying same thing. I hate AT&T too, but their speeds are crazy in Vegas. Yeah, I'm seeing that everywhere. And actually, like Pete, it's sustainable. I'm testing this middle of the day, evening, peak times.
And they're not hemorrhaging people like Sprint.
I don't know. People are telling me that at certain times of the day, Sprint's fast, and other times it's really slow, like unbearably slow.
Is it like the millimeter waves fast when it's not raining? There are no leaves in the air. There's no cloud cover, and you have line of sight with the tower.
So Pete, what I've seen with T-Mobile service is they've done a lot of upgrades this week. Like last week specifically, speeds got really really fast, like 60 megabits per second. All of a sudden, I'm seeing 160, 150, 140. So I think they're boosting. Yeah, they're boosting with a lot of 66. So because that's not 71 doing all that lifting.
71 does not do that.
So they're adding a lot of 66 in my area. I think they're, band 71 is there's more to come for the national. But I think it's encouraging that a region like Cleveland, which is what you call it, a mid-market.
In cities, the layer cake is going to be dense spots, millimeter wave, everywhere to the suburbs, mid-band, and the cities, the mid-band is going to be the backbone to the millimeter wave. In the suburbs, you got the low band going to the rural, but your primary is the mid-band, and your low band is going to be the backbone to your mid-band. That's going to be what it's like after the merger. It's going to be nice everywhere you go.
I don't know what to think about the merger anymore, man. There's a couple bad things that are going to happen out of the merger because of Dish. I'm really pissed about that because as long as the right concessions are in there, that can be regulated.
Yeah.
And I trust T-Mobile more than Dish to represent the low-income customer because we've seen what they've offered. They're going to be able to.
Actually, I've seen what they've not what they promised, what they've offered.
Well, Pete, that's all that stuff's going to be active immediately.
Yeah, but prior to that, they do have some low-income plans you can qualify for.
And they vary by state, apparently, with the merger, how they're going to do this. So, like, certain states
that
need more
changing.
support. Right. That's going to be nice, man.
In Colorado, if you're on food stamps, you can get T-Mobile prepaid at a reasonable price.
It's probably subsidized 20, 40%, right? That's kind of nice. I don't know. The best case scenario, low income continues to be supported. The merger allows for higher capacity for T-Mobile customers. We see legitimate national 5G. Verizon and AT&T continue to innovate because they have to. Verizon's doing more than they ever have for customers. I never thought that day would come.
That's shocking.
They're giving people Disney Plus for a year. I know T-Mobile does Netflix on us permanently. I mean, they're adding value. That's stuff that they never did before. Like they brought back Unlimited in February of 2017. I never thought that day was going to come.
I didn't think it would either.
I don't know. So we'll continue to follow the merger. We'll try to offer, insight and discussion and conversation that is productive and trying to protect consumers. I think there's a lot of ways that people kind of construe the merger. Like there's people in the comment sections that are on the deep end of both ends. And
yep.
I try to take the consumer side always. That's kind of where I'm at in this whole thing.
Because for both consumers.
Yeah. And I don't want to see my bill go up, but I need the innovation, Pete. I can't roll with old tech for more than 5-6 years. Like we've had LTE Advanced now since 2014.
Yep.
So now we got to get to our next generation of technologies. And I know what T-Mobile can do with the right resources. And I think Deutsche Telekom is ready to spend the money. They've been hesitant in the past, but I think now it's the green light.
Deutsche Bank has approved a substantial line of credit for them to build it out.
Hey, Michael, we'll see if they offer it permanently. I'm only hearing a year. Even the commercials are saying 1 year.
So how many accounts, how many simultaneous viewings can I get on Disney Plus?
I don't know, man. We were doing 2. I don't know if it could be more.
Because if with the combo I can go up to 4 after a year, it'll give you a login. This is me supporting public school teachers, by the way.
Pete's the best. You know, Pete, you've always been supportive of myself and the channel. It's been a couple of years now. You've always been
long.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm thinking back, like when I first made the channel, I had a group of kids that some were freshmen and some were sophomores. They're seniors now.
Huh.
So I might be going on my 3rd year actually.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, man.
Crazy. I get 4 at a time. The same with my Netflix and Hulu.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Not as good as my YouTube where I can get 6, but
all right, Pete. Anything for the good of the order?
Well, I do have to say I finally realized what the first responders thing during the Uncarrier 1.0 for new T-Mobile was. And I'm kicking myself for not going, wow, they're doing free for first responders in all states.
Was that not mentioned?
Not as blatantly as not blatantly enough for it to click with me.
Wait, so you're saying it is free?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't believe I missed this.
Yeah, it's their way of saying thank you, right?
It's also their way of saying, hey, California. Remember what Dumb did?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Now, mind you, in California, the state pays for their firefighter cell service.
Yeah, but did you hear what AT&T came out and said?
What was it?
AT&T came out and said it's a ploy for the merger.
Does Band 14 support Northern California?
Couldn't tell you, man.
Also,
they said that they're like 60 to 70% rolled out on Band 14.
Also, how much is AT&T going to rip off the government?
Couldn't be as bad as Sprint, could it?
I don't know. Sprint does off. So, University of Colorado gets these data SIMs for AT&T and Verizon. Sprint has offered them unlimited data SIMs for them to put in their portable hotspots. So when people go out on deployment, they can access the internet and connect into their systems over the VPN. Sprint offers them that service for free, but it's not worth having it because where they go, there is no Sprint service.
So what's the point?
The point is, Sprint does offer free data to universities. They just don't have it.
It's just not good service, though.
But AT&T didn't know how to set up a data SIM. And every time we call to configure it, we have somebody in India.
Nah.
So, for first responders, can AT&T guarantee U.S.-based customer service?
No.
I don't even get Vancouver when I call T-Mobile Business. And they're more U.S. than, they sound more U.S. than parts of Louisiana to me.
I think it's what's even better about what T-Mobile's doing with the merger. They've already said that they're going to. I don't know if it's one, but I heard two locations in New York where they're going to have
one in Rochester.
It's one and one in Nassau, right?
Yep, one in Nassau. The Nassau one is going to be smaller though.
It's still creating 1,000 jobs on site.
1,200.
Okay, so it's creating, and not to mention the construction jobs, right? You're going to contract the work.
They need to build these centers.
So 1,200 permanent jobs. Stimulating the economy of that location with contracting the construction of the buildings. 2 locations, one's bigger than.
Ronald's saying they promised another one in California.
Now T-Mobile's targeting.
That's probably going to be another 2,000 jobs.
Because they're servicing more people in California.
Yeah.
Carlos is saying that all Verizon's, since he got on military service discount, all his call center calls have been going to U.S.-based call centers.
Hey, I didn't say anything about Verizon. I said about AT&T.
Every time I used to call AT&T, I always got India. This is back in the day. I'm talking like 4 years ago, maybe. It was always India. And not that it mattered too much. Most of the time it was cool. It was fine. But at the time I was having to call a lot because the bill was different every single month.
How does the bill go up every single month?
I'm like, look, guys, I'm supposed to be paying this much. Why do you keep doing? Like, I had to take my plan off of auto pay. I said, when the bill stabilizes, I'll pay you guys. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, we said Nassau. We know about Overland Park. So, calling Verizon for government service, they've also got in India.
My last few calls to Verizon have been American. I don't know. I used to get India more a few years ago. Maybe they're bringing some jobs back. I don't know.
Maybe. But the point is, the Sprint, they've also guaranteed U.S.-based support for government.
Can't beat that, bro.
Carlos was telling me that not only does he only have U.S.-only service being on the military plan, but he also gets the guarantee for a certain region for 3 states or 4 states. Which is nice. I've got in South Carolina, Tennessee, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, California, Texas. And this is in the time period where I was working out getting you a SIM card. And working out, seeing if you could get a hotspot for a reasonable price.
Apparently, there's a lot of AT&T resellers, prepaid resellers, doing $65 a month for unlimited hotspot. It's just deprio after 22 gigs of usage. So at times of congestion, they'll throttle you, which sucks. Like, when do you want to use your computer? When everybody else does. When everybody else does. Like, no, I'm going to wake up at 3 a.m. so I could, have nice, fast internet. Come on now. So it kind of defeats the purpose of trying to trying to play the system by not getting home internet and going LTE.
Hey, it's great if you're trying to...
you need a tower. You need a high-capacity tower near your house.
Well, if you're only using internet for checking email and not going to YouTube, then that works fine.
Well, why would you even do that then? I would just have a hotspot on my phone plan.
I'd use my tablet if I was only using email.
Right. So, yeah, I guess it kind of depends on what you're going to use it for. All right, Pete. We hit our hour a while ago, but...
We're at an hour 10.
Yeah, anything else for the good of the order?
Let me see. Do I have anything else I wanted to comment about? So apparently, first impressions with Disney Plus were positive with Yasmin.
She loves it.
I only caught a bit of the Friday podcast. You did say that John Liger was staying with T-Mobile, yeah?
Yeah, he's gonna be sticking around. It looks like there's no official word of him leaving. Like he's not going to WeWork 100%. That's
100% no WeWork.
no WeWork, so he's still with T-Mobile. The problem
That's
is
also a failing boat.
it's horrible, and that's another softback investment.
So here's the thing about WeWork. That their business model is rent large office spaces in big buildings for startups to sublease and give them furniture and internet and lights. Some of the buildings they've gone to said, "Hey, that's a good idea," and started doing it themselves.
I don't know. The WeWork situation is interesting because there's a lot of potential for that type of business to work.
There is a lot of potential. There's also a lot of potential for it to be gouged.
Like if John legit ran it, I could see it becoming viable again within a couple of years.
I could too. I could see him turn it around. Watch it become an arm of the new T-Mobile.
I don't have any inside information whatsoever. This is completely conjecture and speculation on my part. I don't speak on behalf of Pete. I don't speak on behalf of John Ledger. I don't speak on behalf of anyone from WeWork. I feel WeWork could not afford John Ledger.
They can't. SoftBank would be paying him.
Yeah, I bet you they couldn't agree on an annual salary and bonuses for when he hits certain landmarks, right? Certain checkpoints. So let's say they're in debt $15 billion. Reduce that by 50% each year for 5 consecutive years. $100 million bonus. You know, like some stuff like that. Like, so John, I'm sure he has excellent financial representation.
He's also magnetic. People like working with him.
I bet you they put together a portfolio of bonuses that would have incentivized him to the point where he would have been doing exactly what he did at T-Mobile, a 5-year plan where he's going to put the company on the map. And when they saw what they would have to pay him, they're like, how are we going to pay you, bro? We got to take out loans to pay your salary.
There are too many zeros in this.
I have a feeling it boiled down to contract negotiations. They're going to hire somebody for less money, and they're not going to get better.
How about this one? They looked at the contract requirements and said we couldn't even pay this if it was in yen.
It's crazy, man.
I think he's earning his his salary, etc. with T-Mobile.
I mean, he's earned it. He's turned T-Mobile from a company that had concessions from a failed merger. He took that clay, like that raw material, and he made it a legitimate competitor.
Hey man, I started using them before they deployed 4G. So some of the stuff they do give me, some of the stuff they've done to actually become not like, oh, I just use T-Mobile. Could give a man whiplash.
So, Pete, I reported a story probably like, I don't know, it was several weeks ago. Apparently, there's some stuff going on, some rascalness in the merger.
What type of rascal?
I don't know. It involves the merger block, like the states trying to block it. Apparently, there's, the whole antitrust issue.
Yeah.
There's like an antitrust auditing that goes on, apparently. Right? It runs through some different regulatory analysis and stuff like that. There's some decision makers that involve some people, right?
Obviously.
Apparently, there are some really rotten people behind closed doors that may be jeopardizing the merger block.
The block?
Yeah, like the states that are trying to stop the merger, I think they kind of got caught, or there's some finger pointing going on. There's some whistleblowing going on with them. So I want to wait till I didn't want to like make a big deal out of it, really. Uh it's an interesting story. I felt like I first reported it was lawyers from Sprint and T-Mobile. Like I think it might have been no, it was before October. It must have been in September. They reported, they were saying it. And they were, I don't know, they said that they were investigating it at the time, but it looks like there's some steam in it right now.
I remember listening to that while I was cabling a server.
Right now, like seriously, the merger in and of itself at court is looking really rosy because I remember the preliminary hearings. And based on what my sources were saying about how the attorneys general looked, he said that they looked and sounded awful. They seemed unprepared, and they sounded as if they didn't really know how they wanted to attack the block. They were saying things like out of one side of their mouth and then saying things on the other. Like they're like, okay, we have to preserve pricing. We have to have a competitive market. And then they were saying things like, well, Verizon and AT&T have been hinting pricing at each other for the last decade. Well, which one is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like there are so many holes from what the attorneys general are trying to present to block the merger. It's almost laughable. I feel like they're just going through the motion. They're really just wasting time. I'm hearing that the court proceedings could be done and over with in a couple of weeks.
So I'm still betting that the court trial goes like this. The judge looks at the states and goes, habeas corpus.
Yeah.
And the states go, corpus nil.
Well, how long? What do you like?
And the
Time
judge
frame?
goes, "K, fiend."
Okay, Pete. Well, then, if that's the case, what's your time frame, man? I was saying February 1st.
January 3rd.
See what I mean? That just moves everything up. It's
basically it's going to be done the day after the day they pick up my trash from Christmas.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, so if anybody's wondering, I said that entire legal discussion in Latin. Where's the proof? Proof doesn't exist. What? This is over.
Yeah, the only thing that I think is being the Communications Workers of America Union is just being represented here. That's really the bottom line. It's Letitia James and it's what is his name? Becerra, the guy from California, the Attorney General. They're just following through on their obligation. They took money in the form of contributions and campaign money, and they have to do this. Even if they lose, they don't care. They had to do it. And they're on to the next thing in their life, whatever the heck they're going to be doing.
I'm trying to remember if T-Mobile said they'd make concessions to the Communication Workers of America.
Like if they were to unionize.
Yeah.
Like if the new T-Mobile was a union, that was part of the CWA.
So if they unionized, there would be no case.
Then it would just be Verizon and AT&T standing. You know what, Verizon and AT&T? It'd be the curtain coming off. You just see Verizon and AT&T standing back there, right?
And you go, AT&T's CEO Boringer with no clothes on, saying, "Hey, look, the emperor has no clothes."
Uh-huh. Pete, you're always with the quotables, man. The classics.
Hey, I tried to be.
Let's wrap it up, Pete. Any special shout outs or anything you want to kind of close out with?
Let's see. Any special shout outs?
I'll go ahead and shout out some of the some of the Discord and the patrons. Special shout out to my moderators. Big shout out to Carlos for his super chats tonight. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. Also, a big shout out to, I think it was Dave B. He also gave a super chat.
Yep.
Big shout out to the moderators. I did see Rafi today quite a bit. I did
Got
see
Ricky Florida Keys.
Ricky was in the house tonight, always taking care of business in the live chat, dropping knowledge, keeping everybody informed.
The moderators are like quicker at blocking messages than I am. It's almost like they have a mouse.
I don't know if there were any other moderators. Maybe there was a couple other ones, but I think that's mostly it.
We had one other drop in. Carlos S as moderation.
Yeah. So, but that's it. That's all my shout outs. Pete, you got anything?
Still waiting to hear back from my publication.
I thought you were supposed to get word this week.
I'm gonna ask my advisor how long it takes to hear back from them, because at some point we gotta arrange air travel.
Wait, you're going out to New York or you're going to PR?
This would be Puerto Rico.
Ah, okay. All right, that's what I thought.
So we'd have to look at air travel. So hopefully we hear back soon.
Good night, Michael. Take care. Alan Dub, speeds from 5G over 100.
I'd expect around an average of 80 if you're just doing single, non-aggregated NR 71.
If your average speeds are between 20 and 40 and you're getting congestion problems in your area and you want to improve that, you got to get a 5G device. You got to get it's going to change everything.
It's like going from 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi to 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi.
It's going to be a big step up. There's some people that aren't going anywhere. They're sticking with T-Mobile, and if that's you, consider a new 5G device once this thing gets going. All right, that's it. We're done. Pete, thank you for being on, bro.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. The invite is always open. Pete, you can basically call the shots on the Sunday podcast. You know that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much your show. I'm just eye candy, as they say. But thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for watching this. Thank you to all the provided chats and donations. Big shout out to all the communities here with the SMT Nation, the Discord, the patrons, the YouTube subscribers and viewers. Thank you to all in the live chat for participating, getting in on the conversation and the dialogue. It was a good time, good convo. We talked a lot. We covered a wide range of topics tonight. I was gonna say we were pretty much all over the place. And I don't know, maybe you guys will catch me over on TK's podcast. I think I might take him up on that offer, and I don't know, maybe I'll do it just to do it. Go on for a short while or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those watching on replay. Go ahead, Pete.
Stinks we only got 66 likes.
Let's get those likes up before you guys leave. Hit that like button.
Yep.
If you're new and you haven't done so, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Select all so you never miss an upload from the SMT.
Wait, there's a select all?
Yeah, because that'll get you the community tab as well whenever I drop like polls and stuff like that on there. I got to start doing more of that stuff. I used to do more of that.
You're busy.
It's hard, man. But
you got any exams to grade?
I think I graded 2 sections on Friday. I might have one more section left. I'll do it after lunch tomorrow. I don't know, man. The work gets done. Sometimes it just takes more time. All right, Pete. We out of here, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Big shout out to the replay crew. Thank you. Like this video. Share this video. You guys are the best. Pete, we out.
We out. Peace.
Peace.